Yo, what's up, guys? TD Bapple here. Welcome back to another stream of Top Deck Games. We are here for the top 8 of Pioneer League 2024 Season 2. We have our in-house league where our MTG players come to the shop and play some games, try out their decks or even new decks or brews that they want to try it, or just want to practice some Magic games in a tournament setting. So they went through a round robin preliminaries, and then we finally have our top 8. And let's get into the games for our first match. So we have Craig, of course, one of our best players here in Top Deck, running Rakdos Vampires. And I believe he submitted 2 decks as well for our for this season. He also ran Phoenix, which, by the way, he's also top 8 as well. No surprise there. Uh, so he is also going to be playing against Hilkia, who is a big devotion player. He's been running mono green for a very long time, and that has been his deck ever since uh, the deck came to be in the metagame. Of course, it has gotten a low start ever since the bannings was announced previously for Pioneer, and which ended the reign of Karn, the Great Creator. But now he's really adamant on making the deck work, and so far, based on his win rate against vampires, it's pretty good to say the least. So Craig definitely has his work cut out for him. So if you just tune in, welcome, guys. Be sure to like and share the stream. Leave a comment down below. Just like my boy Anton, G Bro number 1. Why mabuhat I'm on the green against turn 3 Bane Reaper? I don't know about that, because last I heard, Hilkia beat Craig 2-1 in the round robin preliminary. So I think he has a shot in beating Craig uh, once again. But knowing Craig, he's very good at adapting and learning from these games quickly. So he'll definitely be able to figure out how to attack this deck. Yo, Roger, welcome. Ay na lang study finals, mas importante. I don't know about that either. I think school is important, just as important as playing your favorite card game. Uh, you gotta have that balance, man. Right. Just like my boy Paul. How's Paul? Uh, Sending our sympathies to him for and his family for the tragic loss. Hopefully he'll come back strong and be ready for the top 8, because he is qualified for the top 8. So I think he's going up against Starry, if I'm not mistaken. But right now he's just mourning, and he says he's okay. So, all right, let's get into the games. So I think it's a bad matchup for vampires, just because Mono Green just doesn't care about Vein Ripper. Like, it's just a 6/6 flying for them, and most of the Mono Green creatures are chunky, big creatures, like really big. So it's very hard to deal with. You're gonna need a clean answer. Like, Fail Push is not gonna be crucial, to say the least, because I believe Hilkia's list consists of lesser dorks. He's more on the ramp cards, such as uh, Wolf Willow Haven, as well as Old Growth Troll. You can push that, but it's the main purpose of Old Growth Troll is to put him in a battlefield as an enchantment. So it sticks, it gives devotion, and it taps your lands for, or rather your forest for, an extra mana. So I think there's a mulligan for Hilkia, which is a good sign for Craig, because he needs to be very quick on the pressure if he wants to win this game. With just enough disruption, he could definitely close out game number one. So for those who are not aware, this is an open deck list. Both players definitely know what's up on the other side. Just need to play around some of those cards. So there's a keep, putting down the Archdruid Charm. Definitely one of the greatest additions for Mono Green Devotion. Starts off with Thoughtseize. That's the perfect start that you'd want as Rakdos Vampires. Like, a little bit of glare, but see some Llanowar Elves, Kiora, Smugglers, Surprise, and I believe that's Polukranos? Yeah, is about to show the card. Polukranos Reborn is the double-sided or the double face card. So he's contemplating on taking the Llanowar Elves. Just because he doesn't have Fatal Push, he does have what do you call this? The Bloodtide Harvester, which is a good pressure, but he wants to keep it as a pressure. Like just deal 3 every turn. It's most important when you're playing a Thoughtseize deck. You want to have some good pressure on the board. Try to lower your opponent's life total as quickly as possible. And in the case of this mono green matchup, I don't think there's anything else Craig needs to play around. So since needs to be very aggressive. Alright, so very quick land drop for Hilkia to pass the turn. And that's free 3 damage coming in on Hilkia's way. But it's pretty good for Hilkia to have Nykthos early in the game. And then he has the Sunken Citadel to have that synergy. Including the Castle Garenbrig. So he can definitely go off anytime. So there's the Dusk Legion Zealot. Goes for 3. Puts him down to 17 equally. And looks like the play or the plan here for Craig is to loot out a land with the blood token. Just to dig for like a Sorin or Vein Ripper or like a huge Haymaker. Or maybe just like a Bitter Triumph to keep the board like really clear. Because Hilkia might be going off real soon. He might be playing Cure at this point. And just pass the turn. Yep. He wants to have that synergy where if he dumps an old growth troll and then he can untap with Nykthos, then he can definitely go off. Smuggler Surprise still looming around. So he's gonna loot out the Blood Crypts. The surprise. So he's got 4 damage on the board. He could pressure Kiora. Or he could just go face. Like, Kiora doesn't really do anything at this moment. I think Craig is just trying to picture out what possible outcome could happen if he lets Kiora live. I think the play here is going to be Sorin. He's able to top deck it and just tick up and helix the Kiora. Yep, with the Dusk Legion Zealot. He may lose a creature here, but it's just a 1/1. It goes up to 20. So this is good. I think if he played the Polukranos right there, Smuggler Surprise. I think he's gonna mill and look for a land. If I'm not mistaken. So it says mill for cards. Yep. And you got a Boseiju right there. Put two creature and or lands. Oh, that's yeah. So and he also got the Wakewood Elemental. I think that's one of the combo pieces in the deck right now. It's an alternate win con for Hilkia. It's not as strong as Karn, but it's still like it does the job. So we'll see how Craig is going to approach this next few turns. Now that Hilkia has guaranteed 4 or 5 mana, maybe 6 if he gets an untapped land into Garen Brigg. He's doing the math right now, and his hand is not looking good. Like he could slam Archfleet of the Dross, and he's looking to put some pressure. Yep, deal 4, and that should get him up to 24. Yep, he doesn't have much of a choice. Like, doesn't have Bitter Triumph. He could play Fable instead, and try to dig for an answer. All right, just goes for Archfiend. It's just a quicker way to deal with the game. So Hilkia has to find a way to, put up some walls. Maybe start playing the Pulchronos. Because it definitely has reach, so he can block by a turn. That's 10 damage. That's exactly lethal next turn. So if Hilkia doesn't have anything to deal with this board right now, so he's gonna float 2 with the Sunken Citadel. And yep, and he's gonna convert that into the Garen Brigg mana, making it 6. So I can't use this mana to play any other spells other than creatures, which is the downside of the card. But it ramps you to a very powerful turn. And I think he's looking to slam the... Nope, just the... What is this? Vorinclex? Is this Vorinclex? It is! Alright. It's a big creature as well. So it's still it's a pretty good card to deal with the Archfiend. So I think the best card here for Craig to get next is the Bitter Triumph, so that he can close out the game. Because right now Hilkia 13 life. All he needs to do is just chump block the Archfiend and he'll be good. And then somehow he'll stabilize with more lands. Here he's already got 2 forests. Place the first one. And he might be looking to pass the turn. So he's probably buying some time to get that second Smuggler's Surprise. It's basically a show and tell. So what he could do is, if he survives next turn, just passes the turn and then just forces Craig to attack badly, and then he could just flash in his 2 big creatures. Alright, so he may start off with the Dusk Legion, try to look for an answer. It's definitely an intense turn. He got a Blood-Tithe Harvester. Not a good draw. He could go wide and just keep shooting uh, Hilkia with the Sorin. Because I don't know if Fable is kind of looking awkward right now. Like if you could play it, but there's no rush for Hilkia. He really just wants to buy some time. Okay, so considering the backside of Vorinclex. So backside says mill 10 cards, put up to 2 creatures from one of the milled cards onto the battlefield. So it's almost like a mono green Atraxa. And then second chapter distributes 7 counters, and then third chapter, creatures you control gain. This creature fights a target creature you don't control, then exile Grand Evolution, and then flip it back to Vorinclex. Very nice. So it's another win con. Like it just dumps your deck. Yeah, he's forced to attack, and he has to block. He's got no choice. So if he blocks the Bloodtite Harvester, he'll take 6 down to 7. Lose 2 with the Archfiend. That's 5. And he's gonna go down to 2. All right, so he's definitely saving a lot of life total just by blocking the Archfiend. Yep, Archfiend dies. And yep, plays the Fable. Gets a Goblin Shaman token. Harvester is big because of Sorin Raja. Like he's been pumping the. If you look at the loyalty counters on Sorin, like he's been hanging around for the past couple of turns. But now Hilkia has a chance to untap. He can definitely play a Smuggler Surprise here. Like, just play the Forest. I already played it. Alright, taps the Nykthos. That's 3 mana. Is he gonna play Kiora? He still needs to make a big wall here for Craig to try to break 2. There's the Kiora. Up to 7. Okay, flop 2. And he might be looking to untap. He's gonna flop floor, activate Garenbrig. That's 6. Uses the 1 mana, or rather 6 mana for Cavalier of Thorns. Enters the battlefield, mill 5 cards, and then he gets to draw from Kiora. And he gets a land onto the battlefield. Let's see if he could get another Nykthos right here. Nope, just the Forest. Oh, that's a lot of cards you don't want to see in the graveyard. I mean, you could get it back with Cavalier of Thorns, but he's got free mana. He could play Polochronos. That's just 2 creatures. So Craig is still super ahead in the board, as you can see. Hilkia is down to 6. He's got the second chapter incoming. Yep, there's Polochronos after using the 3rd mana. Yep. So he's got 2 blockers. He gets to draw again. but he's still kind of behind on the board. I think it was very crucial for Craig. Looking back at the very first turn that he played Thoughtseize, like it was very crucial for him. If he did not catch that, since he didn't have any removal, he could have just accelerated into Kiora or maybe even Polochronos on the second turn. Then that would have been a very good start for Hilkia. But because of that, Thoughtseize, like this is what we're this is where we are right now with the current game. So Craig is looking to discard. He's got another Bloodtide Harvester. Throws two Fables. Interesting. Guess he didn't need those. Oh, is that it? Not sure if that was a fatal push or a bitter triumph. That could close out the game. He's tap out. Like, he could just take out the Cavalier and just swing with a lot of damage. If this is the bitter triumph, that should be game. That's a swamp. Just trying to make sure he doesn't mess up the turn. Still checking. Maybe it's not bitter triumph. He's definitely taking a lot of time for this. So he's probably wondering which one he could kill. If it's a fatal push, I guess he's not dead yet. So Polochronos would be the good choice here because he has lifelink. But he could just put him down to 1 and make sure he doesn't flip because you need the white source. If he could top, like, then that would mean the only way for Hilkia to stabilize is like top deck a Sunken Citadel and name it white. So he could pay for the mana for Polochronos to flip and get that lifelink blocker. Looks like Craig is about to... Oh, Vein Ripper. Okay, that's actually not bad. If he blocks, and then he just puts Death Touch on one of... Oh, I think he forgot about that. He could have done that. He forgot to activate. I mean, I guess he could just Helix Hilkia. I think this is just pretty much over. Yeah, this should be lethal. If it blocks, goes down to 4 and then he loses 2 life. If both Dust Legion and Bloodtide Harvester dies, like Bane Ripper triggers, and that should be game. Yeah, I don't think Hilkia has any way out of this. I think the Thoughtseize was definitely like the nail in the coffin. just on the first turn, like Craig was able to dictate the pace of the game. Yep. And there's the scoop. Looks like Hilkia read the writings on the wall. Craig gets the first game. Alright guys, if you just tuned in, welcome. This is the Pioneer League 2024 Season 2 top 8 between Craig and Hilkia. Got some very interesting matchups right now. Mono Green Devotion on Hilkia, by the way. And mind you, he beat Craig in the round robin preliminaries 2-1. So I think Hilkia is still very comfortable with the matchup. Just a little bit unfortunate on the sequence of turns, especially in the first turn. The Thoughtseize was like, super brutal. Uh, if he had to draw a second Llanowar Elves, that would have been great on his first turn. So mind you guys, the key card for this game so far has been Thoughtseize. Who would have thought? The card that dictated the entire format for many, many years as actually winning the first game. I remember having this conversation with Doc Paulo when Pioneer was first revealed. Definitely said that Thoughtseize was going to be uh, the deal breaker for the format if it's going to stay, because it was just so insane for the format to have access to this card, which was already very strong in not just in modern but in legacy as well. So seeing that it's doing wonders in this time of the formats, it's pretty good. Like, you can't go wrong with Thoughtseize. Just making sure that you could plan out your next 3 or 4 turns, maybe 5 if you're really that deep into the game, and just catch your opponent off guard. Just not being able to play his original game plan, so he has to improvise every turn. Although there are weaknesses with the card itself. One thing's for sure, losing 2 life is very important for the balance of the card, which means very susceptible to aggressive decks. For those who are not aware, the mono red is actually on the rise right now for Pioneer because of the new card from Outlaws of Thunder Junction, Slick Shot Show Off. It's a very powerful bird wizard that really kills you out of nowhere. Just was it like what 3 4 cards, and you can just like, it's basically just charging up your turn to just quickly take out your opponent from out of nowhere, especially if you have multiple copies. It is expensive, Raja, because it's used in a lot of formats. It's even used in modern right now, just because of how powerful it is. And I think it got up to a top 8. If not, I think it won a modern challenge. If it wasn't a modern challenge, it's probably a pioneer challenge where it had a Slick Shot Show Off in the main board. So yeah, even though it's the cards like slowly stabilizing in terms of market price, it's still a very good card to have. It's just that people are already getting a hold of those cards, so they're not going to buy a lot. And for the first time in a very long time, aggro decks have had a breather for even in standard, especially in standard, because like it's been a struggle dealing with these mid-range decks, even the control decks from Murders at Karlov Manor with the addition of No More Lies, just gave the deck a lot of clean answers for these aggro decks early in the game. So Slick Shot Show Off is a very nice, a very good and well designed card for an aggressive deck to play around those types of decks. So I love it. But we're not gonna see those. We're gonna see more Thoughtseize in this game, and we're just waiting for these guys to finish their sideboarding as we move on to game number 2 between Craig and Hilkia. running Rakdos Vampires and Mono Green Devotion. Hey Taffy, welcome to the stream. Appreciate you watching from the YouTube fam, and to our viewers as well, mostly on Facebook, and we got one as well on Twitch. So welcome. Leave a like, leave a comment down below, and leave a share if you've enjoyed our content so far. And for those who are very excited for next week, it's already Geek Pop Gold. Our main events are on their way. So if you haven't qualified for the main event, you can join us this weekend for some qualifiers and get a free shot at the main event. If not, you can just go to the website and pre-register for a discount. Hey Zoe, welcome to the stream. A little bit rough on Hilkiah's end. He just lost game number 1. Quite unfortunate, but I still think he has a shot in winning game number 2. It looks like I saw a ley line of the Void on Craig's end. Looks like he wants to shut down Hilkiah's Graveyard Recursion, which is very rare for this archetype of a deck. Just goes to show how powerful Mono Green was back then. Like, yes, you get to answer cards like Old Growth Troll and Cavalier of Thorns, but when they go to graveyard, their effects trigger, and then they just have a lot of recursion, giving Hilkiah a good chance in turning things around. So let's see if things are going to change with Hilkiah playing first. Yes, you're right. Thoughtseize hurts. Especially to yourself, because you lose 2 life. Heh. It hurts even more if you're playing against aggressive decks. Yeah, so for Craig, I believe going into game number 2 on the draw, definitely has to look for an early answer. Thoughtseize is good, but I think Fatal Push is better. Simply because he could accelerate with Llanowar Elves. But do note, I believe Hilkiah shaved off a bunch of Doricks with his new list. So doesn't seem to be very keen on accelerating as quickly as possible. He just wants a steady ramp into his big creatures and try to make a huge wall and finish the game with all of his big creatures on the field. Oh, that's a Titan of Industry. You don't want to see that early in the game. Ooh. No ramps. I think this is a... But he has a Stone Brain, so... I think Hilkiah might consider keeping this. The fear is getting Thoughtseize though, so I think he's gonna mulligan, yeah. And that's what's gonna happen. And looks like Craig is gonna keep his hand. Because I definitely saw a Thoughtseize, so it's definitely gonna have a look at Hilkiah's hand. And it's gonna make Hilkiah's hand worse because he is on the play. If he keeps 6 cards, plays a Llanowar Elf into a land into a Llanowar Elf, and that's 4 cards. And when it's Craig's turn, Thoughtseizes, you're down to 3 cards. Kind of rough if you're mono green. You want to have all the cards you can get, so you can build a huge wall of big creatures, and try to stabilize from there. All right. Going down to 6. There's a couple of Llanowar Elves. Sure. I think that's a good hand to keep. Yeah, puts down the second Sunken Citadel. You don't want to have extras. This looks like a very good hand. And I think this is very crucial for Craig to start off. Okay, goes for Fatal Push, which is very nice. Second Llanowar Elf. All right, Thoughtseizes on turn number 2. And I think he's about to catch Kiora, if I'm not mistaken. Just gonna check the... Oh, no. Goes for the Titan. I think Kiora would be... Oh, because he has Duress. Because he's thinking he could play Duress. He doesn't have any other cards to play for the turn. Most of your 1-drops in Rakdos Vampires is just Disruption and Removal. So you're not looking to play anything else on the second turn. Usually it's the Bloodtite Harvester. So getting the Titan and the Kiora as well would be very, very crucial for Craig. Not so much for Hilkia, because then he's gonna lose his entire hand. He's just gonna do the math. He's considering if he takes out Kiora instead with the Thoughtseize and leaves the Duress. I'm not sure. So Craig in the think tank is definitely leaning towards Titan. Yep, picks the Titan. Oh, and the Duress as well. Look at that. Hilkia down to 2 cards on the draw step. Ugh. Gonna attack for 1. And passes turn. Welcome to Pioneer, ladies and gentlemen. If you have no game plan against Rakdos Vamps, this is what's gonna happen. Okay, unfortunately, or fortunately for Hilkia, Craig did not draw his third land, so he's forced to play the Bloodtide Harvester. 13 turn clock. Yeah, if he doesn't play any creatures, which, by the way, it's a mid-range deck. It's gotta have some creatures. Gets a blood token as Harvester enters the battlefield. Oh, looks like he drew a second Nykthos, which is not good. So Hilkia just has to pray. That's all he can do for the next turn. Still no land, so looks like he's gonna go in for 3. So thinking maybe he could hold up the push. Yep, goes for the blood token. He could take out the Preacher. He's worried that he couldn't... If he doesn't draw the third land, then maybe the Fable. No, I think Fable's too good. Alright, so this is the safer play. Alright, he drew the third land. The question is, can he get to the forts? Just so he can be very efficient with his mana. Alright, plays a Forest. Still nothing from Hilkia's end. This is not looking good. This is the power of Rakdos Vampires. It's just a mid-range deck, you know, minus the Vein Ripper and the Saurons, where you just have a ton of disruption and removal just to keep the board clear, and this is what's gonna happen. Very similar play patterns when you're using the Scam in Modern, except it's just on steroids, where you can take out 2 cards in 1 turn with Grief. So there's the Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Alright, top deck's a Kiora. Better than nothing. But I'm pretty sure Craig is smelling blood right now. He'll definitely ignore Kiora at this point, because he's already down to 14. He could even go for Bitter Triumph. And even has a Thoughtseize as well. Ugh. So he's gonna discard the Hive. And he already has a Vein Ripper. And all he has to do is just attack. He's gonna probably gonna play it safe with Thoughtseize. Not necessary, but because he's already top decking. I think at this point Thoughtseize is like the worst card in the deck. It's very strong if it's in the first 3 turns, but right now we're already in the middle of the match, and all Craig has to do is just pressure very quickly. Gets a token. He was probably worried that he'd have to inefficiently spend his removal on the Kiora, so he's definitely gonna ignore that. Old Growth Troll, not bad, not bad. And he could draw a card from Kiora as well. Finally have a game, ladies and gentlemen. Huh. Of course, gets a land again. Garenbrig off the top. I think Craig definitely studied the matchup at this point because he's doing very wonderful in this current game. If you were inexperienced, you'd definitely struggle in this current matchup. Oh, and he gets a Liliana off the top. Oh, disgusting. And that's gonna put him down to 2, 4, 7. That's down to 2 already. Yeah, that's just gonna ramp him. So he can basically just kill it with Liliana, not care. Put him down to 2, and you just kill anything with Bitter Triumph. So, ooh my god. Okay, he dies, goes back on the battlefield as enchantments, and he's gonna attack, lose 1 life, and draw. If it's a land, it's good. Aw, second Bitter Triumph. Looks like Craig's about to seal the deal right now. This is rough. Smugglers. Oh, Archdruid. Maybe. What is he gonna look for? I mean, he doesn't have much of a choice. He's gonna float. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 mana. Not sure we can look for here. He still has to deal with the reflection. He could look for a Titan of Industry and try to stabilize, but it's really rough. Alright, that's 3. Those 3. Archdruid. I mean, what else could he search? Like, Titan is like the best card to get. Yeah, is leaning towards that. The question is, which mode is he gonna use? Four, 5. I mean, yeah, he could cast it, but I think he needs another creature off the top so he could survive. So that's 4. Alright. Taps for 2. That's 6. Yep, that is correct. Yeah, 4, 2, and then, yep, floats another 4. That's 6. Uses the Garenbrig for the Titan of Industry. The modes are very crucial here. It's probably gonna make a Rhino token. He doesn't have a Rhino token. He lied to me. Okay, so he could draw 2 cards. Okay, that's good. Alright, what's the second draw? Pick your poison. Interesting. That's a good way to deal the reflection. So untaps. Let's go to floats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Should have 7 mana. Oh, and that's a Cavalier of Thorns as well. Looks like Ilkea is going off. This might be the turn for him to make a comeback. Alright, Cavalier of Thorns. And he still has 2 mana. If he could get another Nykthos, that would be great. Oh my god, he gets Nykthos off the top! Let's go! Finally have game. Yoink. So he had 2 floating, and then he can draw again, and then he's gonna float a lot of mana this time. He's definitely chaining his spells. This is what you want to do as mono green, and this was what Craig was very afraid of from that last few turns. But he doesn't have anything else to cast, so I think the mana would have been great if he drew another very powerful card. It's going to sacrifice an enchantment, taking care of the Kiki-Jiki, and looks like he's good to go. It's just Kiora from his last card, so let's see how Craig is going to deal. Oh, that's not a very good draw step for Craig. Getting that ley line a little bit too late this current game. He could kill both the Cavalier and the Titan, but he needs to be careful with his life total. And Liliana doesn't really do anything for this turn. Alright, looks like Hilkia is doing it. Making sure Craig doesn't get the win quite too easy. Yep, that's pretty much very similar play pattern when you're going up against Tron, is that when you have so much counterspell and removal, or rather disruption, and then opponent just ends up, slamming his big creatures on the third turn, like it didn't matter. Discards Kiora with the Liliana. This is rough. I mean, the Kiora is paying off real good for Hilkia during that last turn. Like, he was just going bonkers. But the next problem for Hilkia is to do that again by top decking another powerful card. Like, maybe another Titan of Industry. That would be really good, because drawing 2 cards off off of 1 is well played. Muragsipol. Flashbacks coming from Eric. Welcome to the stream, guys. Oh, is this gonna attack? Oh, he wants to draw. Okay. And then he'll decide. And at the same time, He might opt to discard the swamp by playing Bitter Triumph. So definitely, I no, he's gonna let him block. I don't know about this. I mean, he could hardcast Vein Ripper. I think that's the plan he's going for. All right, box with both. Tries to keep the Titan alive. Nothing too fancy. Uh, this is a very intense game for both players. Anything can happen. And he's counting the man again. I think it's very crucial for Craig to deal with the Titan and the Cavalier because at this point, but I think he's also worried that he'll just end up bringing back the Titan when he kills the Cavalier. So yeah, and the Breacher's already. So he'd rather just keep his Preacher alive, maybe. Not too sure. Because this kind of feels like a bad attack. Alright, let's it happen. And Titan's going back on the top. Oh, this is so good for Hilkia. It's going to make a comeback. Alright, so I think I get what Craig is doing right now. He's trying to hope that he doesn't die next turn and gets on top with Vein Ripper because Vein Ripper is definitely going to kill him the turn after regardless because 2 Bitter Triumphs, that's 4 guaranteed damage, and then Vein Ripper can just swing because he's flying. Free 6 damage should be lethal. So I think that's the game plan for Craig. But we'll see what happens when this second Titan comes out. He's going to gain life and opting to get another creature to get him to draw 2 cards. Let's go float 7 mana. Yep. Oh, not even going to use the Garen Brig, huh? Oh, I think he heard me. 7, yep. Just double checking. He's gonna slam the Titan. Modes. He's gonna make another token. Where are your tokens, Kia? Come on, man. Oh, don't give me a sleeve. Those are not tokens. Gets to draw 2 cards. What are those? It's a Wolf Willow Haven and a land. I mean, Wolf Willow gives him a token, but not a very good card against Vein Ripper. I guess the play here is to attack with Liliana, attack Liliana, and then maybe untap with Titan of Industry. It's my god. That was not a very good draw for Hilkia with those with Kiora at this point in the game. You can still make a token, no biggie. Man, I keep forgetting that Titan actually gives you 5 life, not 4 or 3. So, those who are wondering, those are 2 Rhino Warrior tokens on the field. So, he's got a lot of power. And he's got a lot of creatures to block. But he's still stuck at this point. He's inching a little bit closer to winning this because Craig is down to 9, but he'll definitely go get those life total back with Vein Ripper. He goes for the troll. Oh, he sacrificed the. Oh, very interesting. So he's looking to draw again. Yep, enters taps. What's he got off the top? Is it a good card? Another old growth troll. Sure. I guess it's something. He could play it. 3, 6, 7. It's still 7. Place another old growth troll to draw a card. So at this point, he's drawn already like 4 cards. And he's still bricking hard. Not good, not good. I think he has to play the Wolf Willow and go to combat. Try to take out the Liliana, because that Liliana is going to guarantee a trigger for Vein Ripper. That I can assure you. Okay. So he's going to go both on Liliana. So he's definitely going to block. Is he not blocking? No, he's not blocking. Oh no. Looks like Craig forgot. That would have been easy damage. Oh, that's a Liliana as well. Wow. If he only had extra mana, it would have been very efficient. Starts off with the Bitter Triumph discarding Liliana. Oh no. Loses 3. Okay. I thought he discarded that. Does he have another one? Yes. Looks like he's about to use it. I think this might be game for Craig. Because apparently... So I think what happened last turn was Hilkia forced to use the Old Growth Troll trigger. And then untap with Kiora for mana. So he couldn't get to untap with Titan. So now Vein Ripper is going in for 6. If he blocks, that's 2. And then if he kills the Bitter Triumph, that's basically lethal. And he has no choice, man. He can't. He has to block both. He has to block both. He needs to save damage. Ah, yeah. There you go. And I think that's game. Looks like Hilkia tapped out right there. GG's to Craig. He's your first semifinalist for our Pioneer League Season 2 2024. Congratulations. I was definitely rooting for Hilkia, by the way, guys. But... And he kind of looked like he was about to make that comeback from that last game. But, you know, Craig, he was definitely prepared mentally. Definitely. Except for that last turn. I think that was a little bit of a misplay. Not blocking. But GG's. Yep. Congratulations, Greg. He moves on to the semifinals, and I believe that Starry is just watching in the sides. um, let's see if we could get another match. Okay, just a second, guys. We'll be right back. I'm gonna take a quick break, but we'll be back after these messages. Whoa! Welcome back, guys. Apparently, we don't have any matches for now, but we'll let you know when there's another one. So I think I'm gonna have to close the stream early. Uh, yeah. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. This is TD Bapo. We'll see you in the next one. Don't worry.
We still have another match.
Ah, we do.
Yeah, Raymond.
But he's eating.
Oh yeah, nagbalik na yan.
Yeah. So I
Or
can't.
you're gonna end the stream.
I'm gonna end the stream because. Oh, napadaw later, guys. But we don't know what time Raymond is coming back. So we'll have another match later tonight, maybe in another hour. But otherwise, I'll see you in the next stream, guys. Laters.